Hi guys, this is a new type of video for me, but I've been really looking forward to making this and I had a lot of fun researching it. I tried to make the lore as simple to understand as possible, so I removed a lot of unnecessary information. While doing this, I'll also be showing you guys a speedrun of me getting the geno ending. Let's start with the Aishi family lore. The first Aishi, she doesn't have a name, she's literally called the first Aishi, was an orphan who was found in the forest, and the Aishi name was given to her on the box she was found in. Why does this become the family name instead of her adoptive parents' family name? Who knows? The adoptive parents were very desperate for a child, so they took her in, and after a while of having her, they realized she did not express much emotion. But they just let her be because she didn't do anything wrong. Then she meets some guy, makes physical contact with him, and her life is flooded with color, music, and sunshine. As expected, she kills all the girls that are slightly into this guy and gets him shunned from the village, leaving him so desperate that he agrees to be with her. I guess this is fine since this is not a love story, so let's just continue. She has 3 daughters with her senpai, and we'll talk about the name senpai later. And she already decided the 3 names for her daughters. The first daughter is Anahiki Aishi, named after a tool used for carpentry. The second daughter is named Katana Aishi, named after the sword. And the third daughter was named Hasami Aishi, which means scissors. He writes the meaning of Hasami as a tool in sewing used to cut thread, but it literally directly translates to scissors, so I'm not sure why it was written that way. The main family seems to follow Anahiki, the carpentry woman. Up until now, the only law available is for the carpentry branch of the family. So if you're wondering, does carpentry have anything to do with this family? The answer is no. Anahiki goes through what we expect her to. She meets her senpai, she learns that life can be magical, then she eliminates anyone that poses a threat to her getting this man. Her senpai is a blacksmith that she asks to craft a special carpentry saw that she calls Kijiyose. The name of this tool does come back later, but it doesn't come back in any meaningful way. Anahiki then has a daughter with her senpai, a girl called Sameba Aishi. Sameba Aishi ends up a textile expert, and she's good at creating fabrics. As we can see here, the whole carpentry thing literally disappears immediately after Anahiki. This confused me a lot when I was researching this because the description of the scissors branch of the family seemed to be textile related. So I was very confused when I realized Sameba was still part of the carpentry branch, even though now the branch seems to be about textiles. Then, as usual, Sameba meets her senpai and defeats her rivals to be with him. Here is where we get some information as to why the whole rival eliminating situation is even necessary. Because obviously these women could just literally tell these men that they're into them. Apparently, it's very difficult for them to be composed around their senpai since they're experiencing all these new emotions only when they're around their senpai. Anyway, after eliminating her rivals, she finally has the courage to confess to him, which is the justification behind the necessity of eliminating rivals. However, Sameba's senpai dies before her, so she stops experiencing the joys of the world since her senpai isn't around her anymore. Because of this, she tries to remove herself from the world in front of her daughter. She decides to stick around for her daughter though, and this traumatizing situation is literally never brought up again. The daughter that was traumatized like this was a girl called Oga Aishi. She loved her mother's textile work a lot and was upset that her mother did not gain enough appreciation for her textile work. So she made clothes from her mother's fabric and sold them to travelers. This made their fabric famous, and her mother was regarded as a legendary weaver, and they made a lot of money from this. This turned the Aishi name and fabric into a status symbol. They were known for their prestige. This is written as the reason why the men in the family take the woman's last name and their family name remains Aishi. Why did the men take the women's name for the past 3 generations? Who knows? Why was the family business in textiles and not carpentry? Who knows? Anyway, Oga meets her senpai, who was a customer to their business, and marries him. They have one daughter called Kijiyose Aishi. Yes, Kijiyose is also the name of the carpentry saw that Anahiki Aishi created. This contributes nothing to the plot, and it's never explained why Anahiki Aishi didn't name her daughter this. We also have no idea why Oga decided to name her daughter this after her grandmother's saw. You also might be thinking, maybe Kijiyose has something to do with carpentry and we're finally getting something to do with carpentry. Nope, Kijiyose is actually a marketing genius. Now, since the Aishi family is very rich from their textile business, Kijiyose learned how to negotiate deals from her businesswoman mother and decides to become a traveling saleswoman. She searches for her senpai while traveling and finally meets him after a very long time. Her senpai is a random merchant and she actually marries him without the need to eliminate any rivals. Huh? It is mentioned that self-defense techniques were passed down in the Aishi family here, which made her capable of defending herself while traveling, even killing bandits that tried to hurt her. So from this, the previous point of the Aishi women needing to eliminate rivals is contradicted. Actually, the Aishi women just need to kill a bunch of people, become serial killers, and then only they can have the courage to be with their senpai. Okay, let's just carry on. Kijiyose Aishi has 2 daughters, Kugi and Hiki Aishi. Kugi is the cold-hearted twin, and Hiki is the warm-hearted twin. They both meet the same guy, and he's both of their senpai. Hiki, being the kind one, asks Kugi if they could share their senpai. Kugi, being the cold-hearted twin, kills her twin sister Hiki and takes the senpai for herself. Actually, their senpai preferred Hiki and only settled for Kugi because Hiki was dead. Anyway, Kugi and the senpai have a child together called Azebiki Aishi, and Kugi does not like her daughter because she reminds her way too much of Hiki. So Kugi has another daughter that's like her, and her name is Arisa Aishi. Kugi's senpai does notice she's a horrible mother, but this for some reason doesn't seem to affect Azebiki in any way at all. And with that, we move on to Azebiki Aishi. Azebiki Aishi actually researches and documents things about the hereditary condition running through the Aishi family, and she comes up with a few facts. The only fact I think is relevant is the reason the men are called senpai. Senpai is an actual Japanese honorific that is used for someone who's your senior in school or a workplace. But here, it's just used to refer to the men the Aishi women are obsessed with. This is justified because what Azebiki discovers is that all the men the Aishi women fall in love with are always older than them, even by just 1 day. Okay, let's look at the other facts she finds. With every Aishi generation, the hereditary condition weakens, and the more recent Aishi women don't feel as empty as their ancestors. This won't matter in a few generations, because Ayano Aishi contradicts this hypothesis. And another fact is the longer an Aishi spends in the presence of their senpai, the more the condition weakens. This essentially means that if an Aishi spends long enough with their senpai, they could be cured of the condition. These facts seem to be the only reason behind Azebiki's character, so let's just move on from her. Azebiki has a daughter with her senpai and is eventually cured after being with him for so long. This daughter is Kataba Aishi, or so I assume because it's not explicitly written on the website that she is her daughter. Kataba finds her senpai and eliminates her rivals and then gets caught for being a serial killer. However, the CIA lets her go as long as she becomes an assassin for them because they were genuinely impressed by her skills. Okay, Her husband is aware that she's a killer at some point, but just deals with it because he's terrified of her. Anyway, they read a bunch of irrelevant nonsense on her days as a spy, and then finally she has a daughter. She doesn't have time for her daughter because she is a world-class assassin, so she spoils her daughter rotten. Since the Aishi family is still rich, she gives her daughter every materialistic thing she wants, and finally, after she retires, basically does everything for her daughter. By the way, all of this is written in a very fanfiction-y style that any fanfic veteran could recognize. Dozuki Aishi is extremely spoiled from being rich and becomes a lazy bum who begs her mother to do everything for her. So when she makes contact with her senpai, instead of even trying to get with him or eliminating rivals, since she is so lazy, she goes crying to her mother for help. Her mother builds a basement and teaches her some Aishi torture technique to break her senpai into marrying her. I feel like this torture thing would have landed better if they had said this came from Kataba's time in the CIA, but it's apparently a very old Aishi technique from generations ago. This torture technique doesn't include any physical harm. It's a hypnosis tactic that makes the victim feel like all of these horrible things are happening to them, even though it's not. This whole torture thing also completely contradicts the whole point of why the elimination process is necessary. So now it seems like there's no real reason for the Aishi women to become serial killers, or to eliminate anyone at all. They literally only need their senpai. So what was the reason of explaining the need to eliminate rivals before this? I have no idea. Finally, Dozuki marries her senpai and has 2 daughters with him. The first daughter is the familiar Ryoba Aishi, and the second daughter is unknown. After a while, Dozuki relocates to Tokyo because she hates her family and lets her mother raise Ryoba in the Aishi home located in Burasa town. Ryoba Aishi meets her senpai at Academy. Yeah, I'll get into the name later, and does the whole eliminating her rivals thing. She hated her mother, so she took care of her younger sister so her grandmother could continue taking care of her bum-ass mother. There isn't much written on Ryoba since her lore is already implemented with 1980s mode, which I won't cover because there's a lot to unpack. Then, Ryoba Aishi has a daughter with her ladies' man of a husband, and this child is the Ayano Aishi. Ayano's lore has yet to be told, but we know that her senpai is Taro Yamada, the most famous senpai, and we will learn about her rivals, which I will cover later on. She has a cousin who is the daughter of Ryoba's younger sister, who has emotions due to the Aishi condition weakening with every generation. Ayano is the anomaly here because her version of the Aishi curse is similar to the first Aishi. Anyway, the cousin, yep, that's what she's called, is a sadist who likes to kill for fun despite having emotions, and may serve as a mentor to Ayano since she has already gotten her senpai. Before we finish the Aishi family lore, remember that I told you the evil twin had a second daughter that she actually liked? Yeah, that girl was called Arisa Aishi, and I read through a literal novel of lore from her senpai's page just to find out she literally joined a war to save him while he was out there, and therefore he fell in love with her. Yes, that entire wall of words was simply to tell us this completely unnecessary information. Let's just move on to some actually important lore. Let's talk about Ayano's rivals, who are actually important to the main game. Each rival is introduced on a new school week. There are many different ways that you can eliminate a rival, including befriending, sabotaging, murdering, and more. Each rival does 5 tasks on each day of the school week, which is how you can sabotage them. They all also have their own tasks that you can do to befriend them to stop them from confessing to Taro. With that being said, let's meet each of the rivals. The first rival in the entire game is Osana Najimi. She is the childhood friend of Taro Yamada, and she took a ridiculous 6 years to be added to the game. She has the personality of a tsundere, which is a character that has strong feelings for their love interest but is unable to be honest with them, so they end up acting distant, standoffish, and stuck up to conceal them. To befriend her, Ayano does an out-of-school task where she helps her get her cat back from this guy who is stalking her. Eliminating her the normal way, by killing her, is difficult because she has a best friend named Raibaru Fumetsu, who is skilled in martial arts. She literally follows Osana everywhere and she has no personality besides being Osana's friend. The second rival comes the following week. Her name is Amai Odeyaka. Amai is the cooking club president and she meets Taro when comforting him about the events of week 1. She runs a bakery with her mom and they're being sabotaged by a rival bakery. This is also how you can befriend her to stop her from confessing to Taro. There is a special way to eliminate Amai since she is a part of the cooking club, if Ayano chooses to eliminate her the typical way. Amai doesn't really have much of a personality aside from cooking, which isn't a criticism at all because I think it suits her. One thing that wasn't really explained was why Amai was missing from school for a week, which I think could have easily been explained if she had some sort of conversation about helping her mother with their bakery for a week. The third rival is Kizana Tsunobu. You should just know that a lot of the characters in this game have names that are English words that are said with a Japanese accent, making them sound Japanese. I'm not sure if this is offensive or not since I haven't seen many complaints on this, but it's just interesting. She meets Taro at the end of week 2 and comforts him on the events of the week while he's being depressed on a bench. She asks him to be in her play because he's giving major tortured artist vibes, and Taro agrees. It's not really clear why Kizana would be into him at all since I don't really see any way that she would like him, but I guess we'll see how that goes since week 3 hasn't been released yet. Her design is clearly a ripoff from our beloved Kokona Haruka, but it's written in the website that apparently now Kokona is the ripoff. Why'd they do my girl like that? It's not written why Kizana is absent from school for 2 weeks, but maybe we'll find out later. The fourth rival is Oka Ruto, who is actually an original Yandere Simulator character, and we've seen her since the occult club has existed in the game. Now though, she's been removed for 4 weeks so that she could become a rival. We don't know how she and Taro meet yet, but we can assume she'll meet him at the end of week 3 to comfort him on the events of the week. I have no idea why she was absent from school for 3 weeks since it only states that she missed 3 weeks for mysterious reasons, so we might get more information on that later. At this point, there are already 3 club leaders that have been into him, and we'll see many more that are into him as well. Taro is a pretty unremarkable guy, so I literally have no idea why all these club leaders are so into him. The fifth rival is Asu Rito, who is an amazing athlete and the captain of the sports club. She probably meets Taro at the end of week 4 to comfort him, and it's written that they grow closer because she gets him into sports to get his mind off being depressed. Again, I have no idea why she'd be into him because there doesn't seem to be any real reason as to why a girl like Asu would like Taro, but I guess she's into him eventually. It doesn't say why she was missing for 5 weeks, but I'm guessing it's going to be related to her competing in some event for 5 weeks. Week 6 is where the rivals start to become way more ridiculous. The sixth rival is Muja Kina, a grown adult woman who went to nursing school and came to Academy to start her training to become a nurse. I don't know if nurses train at schools before they become a fully trained nurse, but that's her story right now. Since Taro is clinically depressed at this point, he goes to the nurse and Muja takes care of him. In this situation, Taro is actually the creep and he's the one who likes her, and we don't actually know if Muja cares about him at all. Anyway, Ayano will have to eliminate her anyway. Okay, I hate this rival and the way her character is written, so I'm gonna go over this as quickly as I can. Mida Rana is the 7th rival and she's a substitute teacher. She likes to go after high school boys, so when Taro is into her, she's also into him. Yuck. let's go to the next week. The 8th rival is Osoro Shidesu. She is literally the only rival that I actually like. She was suspended for 8 weeks, which is why she only shows up in week 8. And for some reason, Taro is into her. I actually do understand why any guy would be into her, but it literally says on the website that Taro isn't into delinquents. So I'm not sure why he's into Osoro specifically, or why Osoro is into him too. There is some law here where the guidance counselor of the school was supposed to expel all of the delinquents, but she wanted to reform them. The delinquents all admire Osoro since she saved them from being bullied, which is why they do everything she says now. Since the guidance counselor is trying to reform the delinquents, she suspends Osoro to hopefully have the chance of helping the delinquent group before Osoro comes back and leads them down a bad life path. The 9th rival is really not worth my time because it's Taro's sister. That's all you need to know. The 10th and last rival is Megami Saikou. When the list of rivals initially dropped, I was super into Megami's character and I couldn't wait for her backstory. But it wasn't really developed that much, and instead the Aishi family story was developed way more. I wish more of the story was focused on the Saikou family since they seem to have such a big influence on the school, and seem to know about the Aishi family and their condition. Anyway, Megami comes in week 10 because her family doesn't want her to come to campus for the first 9 weeks as they know there is danger lurking. She can be seen in the student council room in the previous weeks on a laptop, as that's how she keeps up with school. She is described as the most beautiful and popular girl who is also the student council president, and for some reason, she's now into Taro. Actually, it doesn't say that she's into him, or even if Taro is into her. So I guess Megami is into Ayano? I don't know. Anyway, Megami leads the student council, who all have different personalities, but this doesn't affect the plot in any way, so we'll move on. The next section is on the Saikou family, which is Megami's family, and because all the names are kind of a play on words, I thought Saikou was based on the English word psycho, but there's no real confirmation of that, so let's just move on. The Saikou family starts with the head of the family, Saikou. He's super old now with a lot of money, and it mentions that he was in a war, and there's even art for when he was in the war, so I'm guessing that's somehow gonna be a part of the story later on. Anyway, he marries his secretary, who he has a rigorous screening process to find, and she is Hisho Saikou. She is essentially a robot slave since she continues to work for him as his secretary, HR chief, recruitment chief, and many other things while also being his wife. That woman literally could not get away from him. Anyway, they have 2 kids together, Ichiko Saikou, their firstborn daughter, and Ichiro Saikou, their backup son. Ichiko was supposed to be the one to take over the Saikou empire, but she ended up being a failure. She ends up being the reason that Academy is built, which was a way for her to relive her high school days in a better environment since she had a horrible high school experience. This is supposed to be the justification as to why Academy was built to look like a high school even though all the characters are all 18 years of age and above. I wish that the way the school operates was written like the school was offering a diploma program, which is why the students are there for 3 years, but instead the school apparently accepts anyone that wants to get a further education in an environment that is similar to a high school and can choose to be a first year, second year, or a third year student. And whatever degree they complete at Academy is more like a certificate to show they went to an elite institution before they actually go to college. Obviously none of that makes sense, but we'll just go with it. After all that, Ichiko graduates from Academy and disappears somewhere and nobody knows where she is. It says that some people remember her having a twin sister, and in one of the headmaster's tape recordings, we actually find out that Ichiko disappeared because she was out in the world looking for her sister. It's not confirmed if she actually does have a sister or not. Since Ichiko disappeared, Ichiro Saikou takes over the Saikou Empire. Ichiro was raised to meet his father's expectations and was not allowed to do anything that was not a part of his father's vision. Even though his father was very proud of him, nobody else seemed to like Ichiro since he was basically a robot. Later on, he enters an arranged marriage with Suma, who was chosen for him by his father. Suma Saikou was a tech entrepreneur who wanted to take revenge on the Saikou family since their company was doing better than hers. So naturally, her way of getting revenge was signing up to be married to the heir of the Saikou company, Ichiro Saikou. After Suma and Ichiro got married, they had 2 children, Megami and Kensho Saikou. Megami is seen as the perfect outcome of the Saikou family and can easily be described as an untouchable goddess, which is also apparently her personality. Her brother, Kensho Saikou, was made as a backup in case Megami died or fell short of their standards. This made Kensho extremely jealous of Megami, and he takes every opportunity to belittle her. He is still a child though, so maybe his character will develop later on. Now that all the main backstories have been discussed, let's do a speedfire round of story. Let me introduce you to all the clubs and their leaders, but this excludes the student council and the delinquents because I covered pretty much everything important earlier when discussing Osoro and Megami. Okay, let's do this. The art club has no important lore, but throughout the game you may see them sitting in several different places to sketch different things. This makes it hard to go around campus unseen. The gaming club has 4 original Yandere Simulator characters as their club members, and they can be seen walking around campus playing games, again making it hard to go around campus unseen. The occult club has one of the rivals as its president, and they're all weird people. They walk around trying to find creepy places on campus. The cooking club has one of the rivals as its president, and I hate all of them because they're so unpredictable since they walk around campus handing out their food to other students to try. The gardening club has its members walking around campus watering the plants, and one of the members has some sort of disease that will kill her soon. The light music club has some beef between the ex-president and the new one, and they can be seen sitting around campus practicing their instruments. The photography club was modeled after Scooby-Doo. They don't do much. The sports club has one of the rivals as its presidents, and these guys are boring AF. The martial arts club has my beloved Budo as its president, and I'll talk more about him in a bit, and the members are pretty irrelevant. The drama club has a rival as the president, and Kokona is now the dupe of this president. Kokona is Ayano's friend, and she used to be into Taro, but luckily she isn't into him anymore. The science club's president stalks Megami because he wants to be the head of the Saikou company, but the rest of the members are irrelevant. The bullies are annoying, they're just walking around campus on their phones. The leader of the bullies is the daughter of a loan shark, and the loan shark is blackmailing Kokona's father. Okay, all the clubs are done, so here is something that I was actually weirdly looking forward to seeing in the game. If you search up Budo x Ayano, there will probably be a few videos on this ship. I'm aware that the only reason this happened was because Budo was the first guy with a personality and he kinda looks like Taro, and if I'm not wrong, his crush used to be a bunch of question marks, but here's why I prefer Budo over Taro. Taro Yamada is genuinely the biggest playboy in this game. He's got a girl for each week of the school year. I mean, isn't that crazy? He's so boring and he lacks personality, and he just gives the ache when he shows any personality. Everything makes him depressed and he's just so average. Budo, on the other hand, is a martial arts master. He's super cool and super ripped. Need I say more? Anyway, I hope that was easy to understand and that you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did, because I'd love to make more videos like this and more videos on this game in general. Okay, thanks, I love you, bye!